biomass, biobalance, biobase, carbon-free, chemical-free. We are a green company. But you're an oil producer. Yes, we are an oil producer, but we plant trees. The local forest was burned down. We're in there the next day planting trees, putting in fertilizer, growing trees. And then we're going to get carbon credits for doing this. Yes, sirree. Any kind of big industry that wants to do, they could get carbon credits by planting trees. You know, planting trees in the cities, planting trees in the countryside. Any land they own, they plant trees. Nuclear power plants are carbon free, so they plant trees over there. Yes, logging companies plant trees. They tear down the forest, but then they go back there and plant trees, so they're carbon free. That thing, chemical industry is getting off of petroleum and becoming carbon free. Not to produce CO2, even though you produce CO2. Right. I always love the idea of the farmer who plants corn and gets carbon credits. And since the corn is not that profitable, though he plants corn and plant wheat and plant food, he gets carbon credits. If he plants a tree, he's applying for a carbon credit. Oh yeah. So you find going around, say, Kansas, which used to be free of trees, now you see these rolls of trees along Kansas, which keeps wind erosion at bay. But while he may not get very much for his corn or his wheat, he will get carbon credits. Now, industry, if they own any property, they plant trees or plant bushes, plant flowers. They're planting something so they get a carbon-free tax. Wow. And if they put up solar cells, wind generation, if they have a small stream and they put up a dam, if their property has a stream on it or a river on it, and put up a dam and generate water power, they can apply that as carbon free. Yes, sir, look at us. We're a green chemistry. We have, using the local river with like a paddle wheel, the old-fashioned wheels, they drive a generator. And that could be a DC generator, or usually is, that thing, which supplies street lighting. It works, guy. You better know it. They can make money by selling carbon taxes. Why not? The oil companies who have a problem with leaking methane, and nobody really wants to see methane leak out of your storage tanks, really, because that's dollar, and the bottom is $1. So they go around there and they put new seals on things. They shut things off. They put new seals on this stuff, and they're constantly replacing stuff because it's wasteful. Outside of polluting the atmosphere, it's wasteful. The bottom line is still the bottom line. People still heat their homes with gas. People still drive gas guzzlers, period. They're not going to go out and spend $80,000 for a Tesla just because it's going to make someone happy. They're going to drive a thing. And of course, if the price of gasoline goes up too much, they complain. And which is funny because the Joe Biden's administration is saying, well, we're going to release the oil reserves. Now, at the same time they're releasing oil reserves, they're buying oil from the oil companies to replace the oil reserves that Joe Biden has, 1 million barrels a day. needs to be replaced. So they're basically putting it into the line of oil, oil for the oil companies to make gasoline. Right, and yeah, and as they say, if you look in an oil plant, all the land available is growing trees, growing bushes, or growing food. That thing is, they capture the carbon in the cornfields. Hey, every dollar counts on the bottom line, and they can advertise they're carbon free. Well, hey, are they aware what's happening? They've been aware for decades what's happening. They're aware what CO2 is doing to the planet. They are not stupid. They are aware because it affects their people. It affects the price of oil for them if they buy it from Russia or Saudi Arabia or Venezuela or Mexico. It's still the bottom line for them. And they know right now that as the permafrost melts, they know what's going to happen. They're well aware. They're sitting on the seas, and they know what's going to happen. If your rig is sitting out there on the ocean, the ocean goes up a few feet. No big deal. But if it happens to be sitting in the in Alaska slope oil area, you're a foot above the oceans. If it goes up 3 feet, you're flooded. The whole thing changes up there. You now have houseboats, and your whole operation changes. It becomes a big, massive problem. They're well aware of this stuff. I mean, it's nothing bad thing. But are they doing anything? They're pumping oil. And what does oil mean? My laptop here, the keys, the motherboard, that's oil. The microphone, the glasses, the blend of this. That's oil, folks. And your expensive Nike shoes, the ones with the little lights in the bottom, right. The cell phone you got in your hand, that's plastic. Is there any replacement for that? Biomass, yes. No, you can do it. The old saying about peanut oil, peanuts, yeah. You can make your thing out of something else, but yes, you can do it. But again, petroleum is going to be with us for a long time, and they're going to do their planting of this. And a lot of this stuff is literally making alcohol. If they grow corn, what are they going to do with the corn? They can either feed it to cattle, or they can turn it into the whole biomass. You just simply take the whole plant out of the ground and throw it into a ferment to make alcohol. Hey, they add a little sugar, a little more sugar. Corn is a sugar thing, so you're just going to add a little more sugar. It's going to bubble, produce alcohol for you, and then you take the mass of that. You can dry that mass out of the mass of mash, dry it out and burn it. What are you going to do with it? Well, you're going to put it back into the soil, grind it up and put it back in the soil, or you're going to burn it for heating source for your tanks that are making alcohol. Hey, it's still biomass. You still write it off. You still get carbon credits. Yeah, who wrote the thing about carbon credits? The oil companies. It's like, oh, why? Yeah, they'll also own farmland. That's carbon credits. So when you bite into that apple, you know that's carbon credits. Somebody's getting a carbon. The apple orchard basically gets carbon credits for having the apple tree. Right. Why not? Then people sell it. In Fiji, they get carbon credits there for not burning oil. But it's Fiji. Where do they get oil? Well, to keep their furnaces on. They're not burning something, so they can get carbon credits. They can sell their carbon credits. But are they planting trees? They don't have to plant trees. They simply say we're not going to burn wood to heat our homes. Hey, biomass. Yes, and of course you got the ones who for palm oil. The growers for palm oil can get carbon credits because they got trees that are growing, capturing carbon. Though they cut down a forest that captured more carbon. Now that thing, is it can be classified as a joke? Hey, every time there's a forest goes up in smoke, either a lumber company is going to go in there and harvest whatever's left, or guarantee you the oil company is going to go in there and plant trees because they're green, even though their product produced the CO2 to warm up the planet. Yeah. Who just got hit with 125-degree temperature? Was it India again? Huh. Oh no, Syria. Syria got hit with 125-degree temperature. They never recorded that before. Must be that little war is helping it along. Oh well, that's what I have to say about my bio.